This is TK Trinidad for the Jasmine brand, and today we have a special guest. He plays Diamond Sampson on Power Book 4 Force. Welcome, Isaac Keys. Hey, hey.
What's happening? How you doing? Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. I am good. I am so happy for you. I'm so happy for this role for you. I'm also, congratulations are in order. They just announced that season 2, you guys got renewed for season 2. So what was that feeling like? Did they tell you, like, did production tell you, or did you find out like everybody else did? What was that feeling like?
Like everybody else, we found out about season 2. Everybody else. I mean, of course, as a cast, we always been kind of talking like, "Hey, what's going on?" You know, I wonder why they announced it as early as they announced the other shows. So, you know, we kind of, we all kind of knew like, okay, we have a great show here. We kind of knew they would probably, most likely, get a season 2, but we just need to hear it officially. Like to hear it officially, like, okay, whew, now let's exhale, let's crazy. Now why are we all excited? Like when we're going back to work, we're ready to get the ball rolling. So yeah, we found like everybody.
Yeah, it was crazy. Watching the show, even in episode 1. I mean, you know, Power is a universe now.
Right.
And episode 1, it just started out the gate. Because sometimes with spinoffs, it kind of takes a while for people to kind of latch on. Sometimes they never do. But out the gate, like I felt connected to the characters. I felt like I'm involved. Like I want to know what was happening with everybody. What do you attribute that to? The writing, the acting, you know, your camaraderie together? Like what was that factor, do you think?
I think it's a correlation of a lot of things, everything that you mentioned. You know, when we all had our first cast meeting, we're just kind of just being on the Zoom, kind of introducing ourselves to one another. We all were like fans of each other. You know, of course, we have, you know, Joseph Sikora, who's already there. We've all been a fan of him because everybody on the cast has been a fan of Power. So coming in, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember you, Lily from Banshee, and Shane from Hightown, and Chris. Come on, bro, we've been seeing each other in the streets, and we're fan of each other's work. Gabrielle Ryan, we stank right, and then come on, you bring Tommy Flanagan to the mix. We like, come on, man, Sons of Anarchy. Ryan's like, it was all of that, and you know, and then Anthony Fleming as well too. It's like, you know, the voice. We call him the voice, coming out of Chicago, who plays Jay Gibbs. So it's just like amazing how our chemistry started to work, and we all wanted to like really challenge each other as well in the scenes. You know, and so it's like, you know, it's like bring your A game, because we, you know, we all like new, and we like, no, we're new to the universe. So we got to bring our A game so we can bring value to the Tommy character and make sure that we, you know what I'm saying, we up here with it when it comes time. So that's, you know, it was a competitive room, which made us, everybody kind of just, you know, stand up and show out.
Yeah. You just mentioned like, you know, show heavy hitters. So, you know, you have Joseph, you have Tommy, like they were on massive hit shows that lasted for a long time, that created a fan base that's still today. You know, Sons of Anarchy is, you know, a whole nother like beast. So were they able to give you like advice as far as, you know, entering into like a force like this, like a show this big?
Yeah, I mean, both of them were great leaders. When you spoke of, you know, St. Joseph Cora and Tommy Flanagan, they're leaders. And, you know, me coming from the football realm and all that type of things, like I always knew how to, you know, play a role, but also at the same time, make sure I bring value. And it's like, as they continue to just kind of like excel, I'm like, okay, oh, they bringing it. Okay, I will learn, you know what I mean? Even coming off other shows, I always look and I learn as being a fan, but look and learn and see like, okay, how can I bring my A game to this? And I think it's just been amazing to be able to kind of like, you know, be in the rooms with them and learn from them. So, yes. I mean, everything, man. And so we just excited, man. I mean, I'm telling you, our time on set is fun. Like we make it fun, we make it energetic, and we like, hey, bring it. And we'll call each other out in a way of like, hey, come on, you got it. Like, give me a little more, or we'll ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, hey, you know, am I giving enough to you? You need this? You need more? And they're like, okay, yay, nay, whatever it may be.
So yeah, speaking of that, like your IG when you were filming in Chicago looked fun. Like I couldn't wait to see, you know, what transpired, which is what we're seeing now.
Which part of the IG you're talking about? You talking IG when I'm just all in my apartment because I just love the sunlight coming through, like the natural light.
Look, we're gonna get to that part, but we're getting to the part. I'm talking about the part where you're on set. We're gonna get to that part.
Oh,
yeah, that part where you're on set and it's like, because when you're on that set life, you know, it becomes some sort of like family.
Yeah.
And it was in Chicago, so it wasn't in LA. So when you think of that, because that was a moment in time, and you're gonna get another moment with season 2. But when you think back, what was like the one moment where you're like, man, that was a crazy time, and it either makes you laugh or it makes you just kind of like smile to yourself? Do you think of one particular moment?
The first episode is me and Chris Lofton, plays my brother Jannard. We're walking, down the street, and I'm talking to him. I got out of prison. I mean, first off, the prison scene, but then particularly that part. We're walking down the street, and it's amazing because it's cold as hell outside. And like I'm looking at it like in between takes, we run into this building. It's like a nail shop. We was like, hey, do y'all mind if we just kind of like sit here for a minute, and I'll come back and get my nails done another time. Do y'all mind? In between takes, because it is so cold out there in the streets, and we got to go out there to sing. I'm trying to keep my teeth and my lips from chattering as we walk down the street, and everything, and say my lines and enunciate. So that reminded me, because I was like, oh yeah, this is Chicago. It's Chicago right there. And then the people, man, like the people drive by Chicagoans would be like, hey, what show y'all shooting? And then don't let them see the Mustang. They see the Mustang. Tommy, where Tommy at? Mustang. Where Tommy at? And then Tommy, sometimes, and it was just the energy. So it's like the energy, but it's been a lot of amazing times on set. Sometimes on late nights, I'll just get the music playing on the speaker in between as I put that on my IG. And, our cast, and our crew, they just kind of start dancing a little bit, because overnight shoots can get, mundane. So we got to bring the energy up. And, so I'm not doing it just for myself, but I try to do it for everybody else, just to bring energy.
There it is. Yeah. Speaking of energy, we're on episode 5, I think just passed.
Yeah.
So Diamond was in jail for 15 years. And, I don't want to speak to anybody about anything, but Diamond's been in jail for 15 years, a former boxer, like he's staying in shape. He looks like, before he got it back into, the drug gang, he was, Zen Buddha, like when's Diamond going to get himself a girl? Or did I miss something? Because I feel like,
yeah.
15 years is a long time.
15 years is a long time. I haven't served 15 years, but I've gone 30 days before by choice. You know what I'm saying? But by choice. By choice. I feel like I was trying to, gather and ground myself. Yeah. And so 15 years, I can only imagine. So I think it was, I think they wanted to make sure they built these storylines up for each character. And yeah, Diamond comes out. It's like, particularly, the first episode, he's like, Jannard's like, well, we're going to go out, we're going to have a good time. I'm still waiting on that good time. Jannard still hasn't gave me that good time yet. You know what I'm saying? So, not sure what's going to happen, because Jannard's path is kind of different now. But,
yeah.
We're going to see, man. Stars and Power, they're known for the romantic, scenes, the sex scenes. Why shouldn't Diamond get some of that? But I'm not sure. We got to wait to see. So I think everybody needs to just tune in, and we're gonna see. I think it's enough. It's enough loving for everybody. I think when it comes to Part Book 4 for us.
I know, because like Tommy took it to the house. He flipping and spinning it and rubbing it down all on episode 1. So I was like, all right, Diamond at least in episode 3. We gotta see something.
Yeah, Tommy smacking up and flipping it and everything. So all kinds of things. And I'm like, but. We still got 5 more episodes, so there's a lot of room for a lot of smacking it up and flipping it and loving it, rubbing it down, all that.
I'm just saying, because for you guys who are not following Isaac on his IG, he does post his hard work on his IG, and I feel like he should, if I could make if it doesn't happen this season, if I could just say, hey, writers, just put that in, because like, what's the sense of going to the gym and putting that hard if you can't show it? Like, you're an actor.
Oh, okay. Is that what the people want? Is that what the women want?
I think that's what the people want.
See Diamond, have a little little action.
Yeah. 15 years, like
15 years. I think the 5 episodes coming up. 15 years. I think maybe Diamond will just start kind of realizing, like, you know what? I just love you. Like Diamond, like, what? I'm missing something here. All this serves and all this action and this confliction in my mind of what I'm gonna do, morals and values. Maybe it's because I need a relax and release. Maybe that's what it is.
There you go. That's what it is.
Maybe that's.
And he might see the path. The clarity might be there. Speaking of Chicago, so you guys were in Chicago, and just looking at other films and shows that have been filmed in Chicago, people in Chicago are very particular on representing Chicago in a certain way. Yep. So did you research when you got there or before you got there, how, I guess, the average Chicago person would be versus, what I'm saying? I mean, obviously it's acting, but some people, they okay, well, he's Black, so, go with that. I think it's a little bit deeper than that. So did you do research for that?
Yeah, it's definitely. Anytime you go to a new city and that's the location, you have to make sure that you ground yourself in that city because every city has different dialects and how they say certain words, kind of how they move. Implementation. You got to implement those things.
Mm-hmm.
A couple things. When I got there, I had a friend, Ace Boogie. He took me around, went to the soul food restaurant right over on the west side. So I saw K Town. So I understand. And mind you, I'm from St. Louis, so I've been to Chicago before, but I still
Okay.
need to make sure I acclimated myself to the city and and feel grounded in the city. And one way to doing that is going to a soul food restaurant in the city of Chicago. You know what I mean? Just sitting
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of vibe and sitting in the restaurant. Another thing is Joseph Sikora. Joseph, place time he took me on a ride along. We went like him and one of his friends who is very in tune with the city. We actually rode around and he showed me every different side, and we saw different things about the city and the interactions and inner workings of the city. From
Mm.
saying the things of some sides where the gambling house is, some sides where they actually selling drugs at. This side here is a gang side over here. Make sure I knew more about the south side because that's where Diamond and CBI is in control of, and that's what they run. So that helped me out a lot. And then being my brother being from Chicago, Chris Lofton, he being from Chicago, I stay around him. We'll talk, and we get make sure I have certain words that I make sure I say decent, make sure I say "ka," what I'm saying, and I
Mm-hmm.
say "pop." Rather than being St. Louis, that double R comes out sometimes, So I had to make sure that I stay focused and make sure I ground myself in the dialect and the city. And the city is a great city to be a part of. So I'm proud
Mm-hmm.
in Chicago, be a diamond.
Yeah, it's definitely it seems very authentic, which is
Yeah,
always good.
appreciate
Now you talked about Diamond in a previous interview. You described Diamond as struggling with who he was versus who he wants to be.
it. Mm.
Now we're seeing Diamond's struggles, on the show, but Isaac Keys,
Hmm.
do you have those struggles as well as far as who you were versus who you want to be?
Sure. I think a lot of things that uh myself when I read the diamond is like just in the transition, and I think and pivoting in life, and I think that's where a lot of people can relate to him. You can have like people like, oh well, you used to do this, you used to do that. You'd be like, well, yeah, I'm not that anymore, and people have to learn to accept that. But it's hard for people to accept the person you were in the past, who the person you're trying to evolve with in the future, because
Mm-hmm.
even struggle internally, you're struggling with that as well. So me personally, I mean, I've always kind of like I'm always in this self growth aspect where I want to be the best me that I possibly can be. So reading self help books and make sure I listen to positive affirmations and messages and motivational speeches just to kind of make sure it aligns me in my own life as I walk through life. And
Mm-hmm.
life has its ups and downs, its negatives, its rejections, and make sure I can stay on a path that allows me to be the best person I can be. And I think Diamond is doing that. But the thing about Diamond is that he's still in the same lifestyle, trying to make a change and an evolution
Right.
in this same lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you're doing the same things over and over again, then you're not really making any changes. And I think that's his confliction. He's still caught up, wants to be in the game, but he's still caught up on that fence. Like, well, I feel like I evolved. And also, along with that, is that you're starting to see that it's a place of repentance. A lot of things that
Mm.
he allowing to happen, he normally wouldn't allow to happen, but because he feels guilty for a lot of things that transpired before he went to jail, and that they brought that up in episode 5, where you hear the
Mm-hmm.
detective say, "Well, you always think you can get confidence and think y'all can repent for your sins or things that y'all have done. That bad batch of dope that you tried to fix hurt a lot of people."
Mm-hmm.
And people don't understand the backstory. As we trying to say is that Diamond got put in jail for 15 years because he tried to get a bad batch of dope off the streets that came from his organization. And before he
Mm.
get it all off, it affected a lot of people. It was killing people. It was killing people. So he got it off, got caught with it. So then he ended up doing 15 years. He sat down without snitching on anybody. And that's why his brother got
Gotcha.
in a position to take CBI over rather than go to college. Diamond didn't want his brother to be in that position. He's trying to keep the brother out the game. But at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, he had something that was going. And so he always deals with the fact that he still wants power. He's a leader, and he takes on that responsibility. And a lot of comes with that responsibility.
With that responsibility, I know you can't give away what's going to happen for the rest of the season because we already know it's going to be crazy. What are your hopes for season 2?
I think it's just the season 2. I just want to see uh more storyline. I wanted the fans to be able to grasp onto more of Tommy and all his different, variations of his character and where he kind of go. I think with Diamond, I just want to see a continued evolution, but just starting to see more about him. I think what people, the fans have gravitated is just they're intrigued. They're intrigued about Diamond. Which way is he gonna go? Is he gonna try? Saying where's he gonna go? The intrigue part, and it's like I love it because some people are starting to get frustrated with like, what was he? Just join Tommy. People are like, well, no, I want you to do the right thing. I want the best for him. So what does that entail? And I think on C2 we have an amazing writing room. Showrunner Gary Glennon coming on board. So I think it just gives us something kind of different. So it's great. It's good to have variations. What we did season 1 has been great, and the fans are loving it, and they're going to continue to love it because it's doing nothing but going up. And we just look forward to season 2 and just try to. I think it's going to do the same thing, and I don't think there's no, like I said, it's a power universe, so that means it continues to go on. It's, to infinity and beyond.
That's the thing too. It's just like, some shows, it takes a little bit longer to flesh out the characters. Yeah. And the great thing about, Force and Power in general is like, you don't necessarily know everything that's going on, but they give you enough that you can sink your teeth into. It's like, all right, cool. I can kind of get this. I either want him to win or I want him to fail. I want him to get a girlfriend. Like you want something, versus sometimes you see some shows, you're just kind of like episode, you might get to episode 3. It's like, well, what are we doing right now? Exactly. So that's the great thing about Power. Now, you've been doing a lot of interviews. You've been all over the States. Has things changed for you as far as since the show has debuted? Like, is your DMs pop in? People yelling at you in the street? What's going on?
It's been great, and it's like I'm adapting to the new normal for me. Because now it's not, Isaac. Hey, ain't you on Power? I knew you was on Power. Hey man, you Diamond. Hey man, Diamond, man. Hey, man. I love what you're doing on the show, man. I love what you're doing on the show, and it's like I'm really appreciative of that. Like I really be like when people tell me that, I'm like, you know what? First off, thank you for saying something, but second, like I appreciate you saying, and I appreciate that you recognize that. You know what I mean? So I welcome people to say things to me, in a sense. Granted, I'm a positive person, but at the same time, fans is like the one thing about this Power universe is the fans are opinionated, and that's what makes it great. That means they're invested into the show, and they're also invested to the characters. I've been out there had to defend my brother a few times. Like they be like, man, but forget man. I'm like, hey, yeah, he gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you actually defending him in real life?
In real life, like, he gonna be all right. Like, no, I'm dying. He gonna be all right, but. That just means that Chris Lofton is doing an amazing job with his character.
Yeah.
I mean, that means that people are emotionally invested into who he is. So that means he's doing a great job because he's pulling on their emotional strings. So things have changed in a great way. And it's like it's like overwhelmingly good. So I embracing it. But if I go to the mental part of it, it's like it is adapting to the new normacy of where I am in life, which was different from before, and and the type of interactions I get. So but yeah, it's good.
Well, there it is. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Thank you so much for hopping on. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing Diamond get some love. Hopefully in season 1. I mean, just
yeah,
just putting it out there. You know something. It's okay. I understand. You can't say it because then you'll spoil it for everybody. So I get it.
Yeah, I'm not a spoiler. I don't do anything. But I mean, just tune in. We got 5 more episodes, and I think just tune in.
Tune in. And have they announced when you guys are gonna start filming yet, or are you guys still on the heels that they just renewed season 2?
They still haven't announced, so we're looking forward to it, and I know everybody is looking forward to going back. So it's I think we're excited about that, man. And Chicago's a great time and a great city to be in.
All right, that's it. Is there any other project that you're working on, or is it Force all the way for a little bit?
It's Force all the way right now. But I look forward to being able to do things in our hiatus when those happen and whatever. So it's like I'm just looking forward to be able to expand on the range that I can play as an actor. And me, I love to laugh and crack jokes and the comedy aspect as well too. So look into everything, but right now, Diamond, man, I love playing the character. I love what the writers are doing with the character, and I love being part of this show, part of Force.
There it is. Thank you so much for hopping on.
Hey, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Keep doing your thing, my girl.
Thank you.